If project management is something of interest to you, and if real estate is an area that you really enjoy or you think you might enjoy, then check out this video. I'm going to walk you through career paths, career journeys of two seasoned professionals in the project management space of corporate real estate. We're going to talk about where they started and where they are today. So check out this video. It is an extension of a longer video where I talk about other operation and management roles within corporate real estate. So look, my name is LaShawn Parker of LP Real Estate Consulting, and I am here to share with you the many career opportunities that exist in real estate, whether it's residential, commercial, or corporate real estate. So like this video and also subscribe to my channel. That way you'll be the first to know about new videos and new information that will help you shape your real estate career. I'll talk with you soon. Right. So let's talk about project management and as it relates to corporate real estate. All right. So let me just kind of define it before we jump into these career journeys of two professionals within corporate real estate project management leadership roles. All right. So a corporate real estate project manager is going to oversee the planning as well as the execution of workplace related projects. So this could be anything from tenant improvements and interior build outs to, let's say, renovations or relocations, or even just capital upgrades. Okay. A project manager would definitely be involved in this process and is definitely needed. So as a project manager, you're working closely with the internal stakeholders within an organization. So that could be the facilities team, that could be IT, or the different business units that may be impacted by the upgrades or the renovation or the facility as a whole. But you're also going to work with external partners. So you have architects and general contractors and vendors. So these are part of the parties that you're going to work with in the capacity or the role of a project manager. And you're really overseeing and ensuring that the projects are delivered on time. You definitely want them delivered within budget or below if possible. We don't often see that. And then we also want to make sure that the projects align with the company standards as well. So I would say that this role is a role that involves strategy, it involves budgeting and scheduling and vendor coordination and vendor management, a very tactical role. You're looking at quality control as well as construction oversight. So quite a lot that goes into this capacity of a project manager. But again, let's jump into a couple of the career paths of two professionals that currently operate in a property management role within corporate real estate. All right. So the first professional that we're going to look at, I really selected this professional intentionally, and I'm going to explain to you towards the end of why I chose them. But they started out as a facility manager. They were in this capacity for a total of 2 years. From there, interestingly, they moved on to become a manager of corporate real estate. Now, this was at the same organization. So this was looked at as a promotion or maybe a horizontal switch within their role or within the organization, rather. And so again, facility manager for 2 years and then promoted or advanced over to a manager of corporate real estate. Now, I'm going to assume that they did a good job in this role because they were there for a total of 6.5 years before switching companies and moving on to become a director of facilities and real estate. So what I love about this third role that they're in is that they started out in facility management. They then went over to a manager of corporate real estate. And then at a new organization, they were able to combine the experiences from those two prior roles into this new role of director of facilities and real estate. Now, they were in that role for a total of 2 years before being promoted to a senior workplace relationship manager. All right. So again, they were promoted from a director of facilities and real estate into a senior workplace relationship manager. Now, again, I don't know the details behind the promotion or the change in roles, but this is their career path and how things panned out for them. So after being in that role for less than a year, They actually left the company and moved to another company in which they became a regional real estate manager. All right. So, really, regional real estate manager, similar to a portfolio manager, they operated in this capacity for, or in this role for a total of 2 years. And from there, they became a senior manager of workplace. Okay. They were in that role, which was with the same company that they were in prior as a regional real estate manager. They were again now in the role of a senior manager of workplace for a year. From there, they left that company and moved on to another company in which they became a program manager of corporate real estate. So, program managers are typically going to uh, really focus on a lot of data and analyzing data and assisting with the overall strategy for a corporate real estate team. All right. So they were in that capacity for less than a year before being promoted within the same organization to a senior real estate project manager. All right. So kind of interesting here because the goal was is or for this particular category is to look at leaders within project management. And I found it interesting that they started out as a facility manager. They went on to do a series of roles within managing real estate portfolios as well as workplace experience. And then they landed in the role of a senior real estate project manager. They've been in this role for the total of 5.5 years, and this is their current role. And it seems that something that I found in my working with other project managers is some people go into project management intentionally, and some of them kind of evolved into it. And I feel like this person somewhat evolved and found their way into being a project manager. All right. They've been in this in real estate for over 20 years, and they have a bachelor's of science in business management. They also have a certification known as an MCR. If you've seen other videos that I have shared, an NCR is a certification known as a Master of Corporate Real Estate, and it's issued by Coronet Global. Wonderful certificate to have if you plan to go into corporate real estate, in my opinion. All right. So a few key takeaways is from this professional's career path is that they did exhibit steady growth, even though it maybe wasn't forming a specific path that led to project management. In some ways it did, in some ways it didn't, but there was steady growth. And what more so than growth, I would say exposure. So consistent promotions, consistent exposure, and definitely a standout certification, the MCR. All right. So very interesting career path, 20 years, 8 different roles, and looks like they're standing strong in their current role as well. All right. So now let's take a look at the second professional in project management. All right. So this person started out as a site acquisition specialist. So they were more so on the sales side. So site acquisition specialists, they were in this role and operated in this role for a total of 3 years. They then were promoted within the same organization to a manager of site acquisitions and zoning. And they worked in that capacity for a total of 2 years before stepping out on their own. Now, at this point in their career, after 5 years, they decided, you know what, I want to be a real estate broker or agent, and I want to obviously a broker, and they wanted to operate in their own within their own company. So from there, they became a director of real estate services. Likely they were the broker of the company. They worked with that title for a total of 4 years. And from there, they became a director of real estate as opposed to real estate services. Operated in this role as a broker director before going back into corporate, in which they became a market manager. Now, they were a market manager for a total of 3.5 years. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. I have an assumption of what a market manager is, but I don't I've never really seen that title before. So I found that to be quite interesting. But they were a market manager for a total of 3.5 years. Again, that was their first role going back into a corporate setting. And from there, after 3.5 years, they became a project manager. Now, they worked as a project manager for a total of 2 years before being promoted to a senior project slash construction manager. Now, that is their current role, and they have been in that role for a total of 1 year as of today. Now, what is interesting is this person started out in more on the transactional side of real estate within an organization. They then evolved and stepped out on their own and became a broker or a real estate salesperson, and then they returned back into the corporate arena, and it looks like they found their footing in the project management area. All right, so let's look at their career journey. It looks like they've been in this in corporate real estate, or their journey has lasted for just over 15 years. Now, what's interesting is they do not have a higher degree of education. They do have a high school diploma, and they also have a sales person's license. Now, I'm assuming they were a broker or a sales agent, but they have a sales license, but they do not have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, but they were able to build up a career in real estate for a 15-year plus period. And what I like about them, and some of the key takeaways here, is their exposure within the different real estate subject matters. Again, going from transactional activities, being in a corporate environment, and then stepping out on their own in the entrepreneurial space, and then returning to corporate as well. So, but what I like is that they were focused on real estate as a profession. And so they landed in project management. And again, as I was saying, some people go into project management intentionally, and some people find their way into it. All right. So these two career professionals have had long careers, over 10 years. And as you can see, they've had a lot of different roles, entry-level roles, entrepreneurial roles, but it all led up to them realizing and walking in their current roles as senior real estate project managers or project slash construction managers. So again, as I said previously, in this capacity, you're dealing with a lot of different stakeholders. You're dealing with internal stakeholders as well as external stakeholders as well. But it is a big responsibility, a lot of oversight, and it's a great role, I believe, if you're a person that is very well organized. Some of the very successful project managers that I've personally worked with were very structured, very organized. They were leaders. They knew how to take charge. They knew how to handle different types of personalities and different types of people. And so I would say that those are some of the good skills of good project managers that I've worked with in my tenure. So project management, these are two good career professionals and good career paths to look at and consider for yourself, and how you can set yourself up, whether you know for sure you want to go into project management, or if you're considering a change in your career and maybe looking at project management as an option. All right, so that's project management. Let's now take a look at the next career category. I'll see you back in a moment. So there you have it, part 2 of our corporate real estate career series, in which we walk through real life career paths of professionals. Now, if you found this video helpful to give you a view and a perspective of how to build and grow your career in corporate real estate, mainly beyond, but not exclusive of, but mainly beyond sales, leasing, and property management, then guess what? I'm doing my job. I'm fulfilling my goal and my vision for LP Real Estate Consulting. But look, I encourage you. Before I do that, let me recap. In video 1, we talked about leadership and strategic roles in corporate real estate. And in video 2 that you just watched, we talked about operational and workplace roles. Okay, now this is just the beginning, because I'm also going to expand beyond corporate real estate, and we're going to focus on commercial real estate as well as residential real estate. So stay tuned for that. If you like and subscribe to this channel and to this video, you definitely will be alerted when those new videos are released. So please subscribe or share this information with someone who you know may be interested in real estate as a career. Now, I also want to let you know about other resources, free resources that I've created on my website at lprealestatecareers.com. On my website, I have free ebooks that you can download, and there's at least 5 that you could download for free that give you great information about building a career in real estate. Now, again, my focus is on residential, commercial, and corporate real estate careers. Now, I also have a very extensive career course that is available on my website, and in that course, I really take a deep dive into the careers that are available in all of these 3 sectors of real estate. And I don't just talk about the titles, but I also talk about what you'll really do in those roles, how much money you can make in those roles, and what you can really expect. So hopefully it'll help you to be more intentional in building and establishing your real estate career. So look, thank you for watching. Again, subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for more upcoming information about careers in real estate. Talk with you soon.